Lost on Lost Season 2, baby!
Hell yeah!
We've watched Seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Lost, and we've learned a lot.
Did we?
And we've learned to love Jack, Kate, Sawyer, Boone, and Claire.
Did we?
But now it's time for Seasons 4, 5, and 6.
That's right, we're still going to talk about the mysteries and mythologies of the island.
And obviously hot tropical hookups.
But now we're going to talk about things like the freighter,
The Others,
Charles Widmore,
The Lighthouse,
time travel,
9/11,
Ronald Reagan,
the Catholic Church,
Titus,
gold chains,
the military-industrial complex,
the prison industrial complex,
the void,
the orb,
and so much more.
So strap on and strap down, because if you thought last season was confusing,
This is going to be so much worse. Or better if you like being lost on Lost. Strap on.
you heard me.
Ooh, welcome everybody to Lost on Lost. Hey, I'm JP Russell, and I'm joined as always by a man who loves nothing more than to find dead bodies underwater, Adam Busher.
I mean, honestly, that's the best place to find a dead body, right? Is that it doesn't smell, nobody can see it. I mean, if you have to find a dead body, right?
Right. You can't accidentally get your fingerprints on it because you can't leave fingerprints underwater, you know?
Yep. I'm also terrified of the water, so like,
Right, that's kind of
just
why I
put
said
all
that,
the spooky stuff in the water, dead bodies.
Right, you're never going to be down there, so like...
Yeah, performance review, whatever, spooky stuff.
Adam,
Yeah,
we have a guest.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, what number? This is 4, 5, 4?
Four.
4. Back for number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the one, the only, Mike Traylor.
What's one more than a hat trick? Is there a thing for that?
2 hats. You're working on a second hat.
I batted
You'll
the
have
cycle.
A second,
Yeah,
you'll have another hat on top of the first hat.
Was it the Gordie Howe hat trick? It's not 3 goals. It's a goal, an assist, and a fight. So
Okay.
could be working on one of those.
Yeah, as long as you fight Adam, I'm fine with it.
You're going to be tougher to get to.
I'm also just emotionally not prepared and weak. Mike, what's been going on, bud? What have you been up to?
I forget if it was the last time I was here or the time before. I was lamenting about how the strike had put kind of a little hitch in my giddy up.
Sure, yeah.
So the strikes got resolved, and that was great. And then the industry just decided it was only going to crawl back to a start.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
All those times that we here on the show were complaining about there being too much TV, like Hollywood was like, you know what? You're right.
yeah, massive
Yeah.
correction. How about that?
Let's
Yeah.
pendulum into the other direction.
Adam, what did you say the phrase is out there now? Stay alive till 25?
So many people are just like, stay alive till 25, and there's plenty.
Honestly.
There's and the frustrating thing about that is there's plenty of indicators to say that it might not be enough either. Like,
Mike, have you watched anything of note?
I watched Presumed Innocent recently.
yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. Jake Gyllenhaal, turns in a pretty good performance. That guy's got a future.
I like it, Gyllenhaal. I don't think I'm familiar with that one though.
It's on Apple TV.
Yeah, it's on Apple.
Plus.
Oh,
So
who the hell has Apple TV
it's
besides
everybody
you?
who got an iPhone. Everybody who
Yeah,
gets
literally
an iPhone
every
gets
person
free,
for at least 3 months.
Yeah, you're free on Apple TV.
All right.
It's based on a movie that was based on a book. I think it probably was just based on the book, and the movie happens to also exist.
I forgot that it was a movie.
Yeah, Harrison Ford.
Yeah, Harrison Ford.
Oh,
Yeah.
good stuff. Hey, do you guys want to talk about Lost?
Sure.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Adam, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about Confirmed Dead. Confirmed Dead is the second episode of season 4 of the television program Lost. It is also the 97th episode overall. It originally aired on February 7th, 2008. It was written by Drew Goddard, Brian K. Vaughan. It was directed by Stephen Williams. And our centric characters are Daniel Faraday, Charlotte Staples Lewis, Miles Strom, Frank
She got 3 names. I don't even remember one of them.
Frank Lapidus, and Naomi Dorrit.
Franklin J. Lapidus. Thank you very much.
Charlotte Staples Lewis, if you want a mnemonic device to remember her name, she was named after Charles Staples Lewis.
Yeah, the guy who wrote, apparently, the Chronicles of Narnia and another book called The Great Divorce.
That guy.
I thought that was C.S. Lewis.
Yes.
Yeah, Charlotte.
The C and the S stand for things.
Got him.
Holy shit.
Confirmed Dead takes place in the 91st and 92nd days after the crash of Oceanic 815 JP, which stands for Do you have a recap? Russell, you got that recap or what?
I sure do.
All right, hit it.
Confirmed head? Sign me up. Oh, wait. Confirmed dead? Meow, fiddlesticks. On the island, everyone is suspicious of everyone. Survivors point guns. Other survivors point guns. Freighter folks point guns. The only person with the balls to pull the trigger is the hot air balloon guy. Factions divide to make even further sub-factions as everyone tries to figure out what everyone's intentions are. Except Carl. We know what Carl's intentions are.
Jeepers.
Off the island, a bunch of stuff we kind of have already seen. Faraday watches too much TV. Frank spends too much time on Reddit. What's-her-head uses too much white privilege. And Miles is still one of the best written characters on this show. You think finding a polar bear in the desert is weird? Just wait till I show you my fan edit of the 9/11 Commission report. Happy 9/11, everyone! Let's get into Confirmed Dead. Oh,
Confirmed
boy.
Dead.
This is an episode of some Lost, let me tell you.
Now, I know context isn't like necessarily the most important thing about like our podcast here. But keep in mind that this is the second episode of the fourth season. So, like, they came back from the break. They had the big reveal at the end of season 3.
Right.
That, they get off the island. Kate, we got to go back.
We gotta go back.
And then they come back here. And then, episode 1 of season 4 has all these flash forwards. And it's like, okay, we know what's going on. They're like, okay, episode 2, you know how you're ready for flash forwards and off the island stuff?
Psych!
Flashbacks! Get wrecked, nerd!
I was going to say, this felt more like the season 4 premiere than the season 4 premiere.
Oh,
this is
interesting.
what everyone was waiting for.
Yeah, kinda. In my head, like if the cliffhanger of season 3 were Dum Dum landing on the island, falling out of the helicopter, makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
The show opens with some underwater drone footage.
The pinging of like the sonar as it was like increasing was definitely giving me anxiety. Did not enjoy that.
I famously here on Lost and in my real life am terrified of deep water. I hated it. I hated it so much. I was waiting for I once downloaded a demo of Subnautica.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to I was like, maybe if, I know I'm afraid of being underwater and stuff like that, but like maybe a video game won't bother me. And I'm like swimming around in this little sub and I turned and then I saw like a fish in the distance. It was probably a shark. It was miles away. I could just barely see it.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck that. I deleted it.
Anyways.
I knew it was fake. Like it was the fake ass underwater drones
fake.
footage possible, and it was still scaring the shit out of me.
Are you saying that the CGI from Lost hasn't held up?
Well, and the fact, like, with what was the sub that imploded last year? The fucking
the Titanic explorers with the
whatever
with the PlayStation controllers.
Yeah.
We know so much more about that type of deep sea exploration now, and this
just like as part of the zeitgeist.
But
okay.
bad CGI made me scared. The pinging gave JP anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Was it bothering you at all?
I felt great.
You're all right.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad that this didn't. I'm glad that watching this didn't bother you. Yeah, they find a plane. They're like, "Ooh, do you see this? I saw Oceanic A-15." And then it kind of cuts to news footage of this drone shit, and the lady's like, "Yeah, they found it and whatever." And,
Indonesia.
yeah, look at the trench, and here's a map. When it cut to Danny watching the news and him in tears,
Yeah.
I was mad.
Were you mad because he stole your shtick of being terrified of the deep?
That would have been some shit if the woman was like, Danny, why are you so upset? It's like, I hate the ocean.
Can't do it.
She's like, turn it off.
We know quite a bit about Faraday,
Yeah.
On the podcast. This one shot is, I don't understand how this connects to any other Faraday that we know, because there's he's in what looks like a suburban or a country house with a person whose face we don't see, who you would think is his mom, but that's not Eloise. He's just crying and he doesn't know why. And I'm I don't understand what any of this has to do with Faraday at all.
It's apparently revealed in the enhanced viewing of the show that she is his caretaker. He does have some sort of something wrong with him. We know from a different episode of Lost and Lost that he does have memory problems, so maybe it's neurological, whatever. But yeah, it's not revealed in here. It takes place in Essex, Massachusetts. We don't know why, and that's it. It's just this little bit, and I don't think it ever gets referenced ever again.
It was a real missed opportunity for her voice to just be like muted trombone. Like,
he doesn't know why he's upset, and neither do we.
Yeah, neither do I.
Solid rating.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
We cut to the chopper. The team, the research team, whatever. This is a them. Danny, Charlotte, Miles. Well, Naomi's not on.
Yeah, Naomi's not on.
So Frank. So the four of them. They're caught in some sort of electrical store. Miles is like, we need to lose weight. Shove. Just like, he's like, you got your parachute on? He's like, I think. Shove out. So Danny goes tumbling.
So I'm a little confused. I was thinking about this because, when the shot starts and it's shaky cam, it's like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
So Frank is a helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
When Naomi showed up, didn't she crash via helicopter?
Yeah, and that's I was reading trivia for a different episode that we just recently recorded, and they talked about how even though you only ever see one helicopter on the Kahana, they must have had two because Frank competently drives this one and Naomi does not
less competently
drive the other one.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. She's like, we got to assemble a team of like an archaeologist and a psychic and a physicist and another pilot. Like, well, huh?
Yeah, like Lance Reddick at the end of the episode. And don't worry, we're going to have everything you need, all the equipment and two helicopters. And she's like, shouldn't we get two pilots? We'll be fine.
Yeah. We need a pilot. I am a pilot. Yeah, but you're like, a woman pilot.
JP, it's the 90s, man. You got to chill.
Mike, it's 2024. Oh, man. Finally, Toon Machine here. Just cranking out jokes. we feed it setups and it spits out punchlines. Hell yeah.
Faraday didn't fucking tuck his legs. He eats shit and hits the ground.
Yep. He as soon as he hits the ground, he's like, do I got my gat? Yes, we're fine.
Do I have my, what do you call it? Pack? Less yes.
Yeah. I get, yeah. I'll deal with that. Danny looks like a person who's never seen a gun in real life, yet he seems to competently, at least in this moment, handle the pistol. He doesn't handle it great later, but we'll talk about it later.
Soft disagree.
Okay.
Because unless I'm mistaken, he cocks it and then sticks it in his pants.
I may have missed that because what it seemed to me, and I was probably writing a note at the time, but like it just looked to me like he looked at it and just like held it like you would hold a gun, not like
he cocked it. Yeah.
Okay. So then that's bonkers because later he's holding a gun in a way you don't hold a gun, and so the only thing I noticed was the way he was holding it, and I was like, okay, at least he knows which end to hold.
I mean, that's a solid start.
It's a solid start. There's really only 4 things you need to know about a gun.
Step 1, how to hold it.
Yep.
Step 2, don't blow your junk off.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so he's not heading in the correct direction.
Right.
So that's fair. So he's stumbling real early out of the start gate.
I think it's a SIG P226 though, but that has a decocker on it. So like it would be a single action, double action. Anyways.
If I may quote Captain America, speak English.
Single double, so it would be a long first pull, and then he could easily blow the rest of his junk off. But no, he hits the ground. He's got his gat. It's pouring rain, and out of the jungle, we've seen sort of the reverse side of this before. Jack and Kate come stumbling around.
Yep. T2J, 3 minutes and 16 seconds on this
Wow.
one. So yeah, and he's like, "How are you, Jack? I'm Danny, and I'm here to rescue you." Like, you're a nice guy. That's neat.
Why are you still wearing a tie?
The lost card slides through, and then we cut back. Danny has lost his backpack and his phone. Phone was in the backpack. So we got a problem. He's like, I won't be able to call in and like let everybody know I'm okay. And my Jolly Ranchers are in my backpack.
He definitely had Jolly Ranchers in his pack.
Absolutely.
Jack's like, we got a phone. Here, we got a phone. You got to call somebody?
We have your exact type of phone.
Where'd you get that? What was the 20 questions? Just use the phone.
Best Buy. There's a Best Buy over the hill.
Right over there. Can we go there? No, we got other stuff to do.
Kate's looking at his butt and notices that he has a gun.
Yep. Strapped.
Kate do be checking out butts.
Thirsty.
And they get real weird about it, which I'm like, I mean, sure, but he said, like, I'm here to help you, and he didn't immediately pull a gun on you. Everyone else on the island does have a gun.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Like,
spoilers for later in the episode.
yeah, he's not waving it around like a maniac, so like it's probably okay.
Also, he has like the energy of if Keanu Reeves and George McFly had a baby.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because he's got a real, like sort of like with the parachuting and the like whatever. He's got sort of an adrenaline junkie adventurer vibe, but then he's got this like real, you are my density vibe to him.
Yes.
If in the opening scene they had panned down to see what his caretaker was giving him, it was an Uncrustable. And as a man who had an Uncrustable for dinner tonight, I can say that.
Don't love that math, but
he calls in and he gets a hold of Minkowski, who is the comms radio guy on the boat. He's just like, hey, we're
He's still saying Minkowski.
yeah, not yet brain gelatinified Minkowski. And he's like, hey, man, what's up? He's like, oh, we're here. What happened to everybody else? Oh, I don't know. Am I on speaker? Well, yeah, dog, we're just chilling.
Yeah.
Take me on speaker. And Danny's like the look on his face is like, they're not gonna like that.
Yeah.
This isn't gonna look good.
which like that's on him though, because phone etiquette dictates, hey, what's up, man? You're on speaker.
Exactly.
Exactly. Gotta let him know up front.
If you answer on speaker, say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just text me next time.
We cut over to Locke's group.
Oh my god, my favorite screenshot. I've had this screenshot on my desktop for years now, wondering when it was going to pop up. I don't know, Mike.
Drop it in the chat.
If you can share.
Drop it in the chat.
I don't know how we're turning that into a meme yet, but we are.
It's
Perfection.
So good.
It is perfection.
But yeah, Locke, for the second time in the show, predicts the end of a rainstorm.
I mean, they happen every day for probably roughly the same amount of time.
Right. Like, we've been over this before, like how there's a part like in Florida, like they just get rain at like from 9:15 to like 9:45 every day. And so like if you were like outside with your face to the sky at 9:44 and your buddy was like, what are you doing? And you'd be like, the storm's about to end. It's not a storm. This happens every day. Come inside.
If you do this same routine every day, probably like one time out of like 20, you're going to hit it perfect.
Right. Exactly. This is the beginning of Locke being really purposefully vague and unsharing with like information. And so like, and Sawyer here is like, he's got a bunch of questions. Which
understandably,
which I mean, it tells you that nobody knows what's happening, and Sawyer's just the one to bring it up.
Yeah, as Sawyer is wont to do.
Yeah, because like he's got this devil may care attitude.
Yeah,
he's he's handsome here on the island,
island handsome,
which comes up later.
I mean, he's off island handsome. Come on.
I mean, that's the point. Like Ben later says, it's like, yeah, here on the island, you're heroic and handsome. It's like he's handsome. Like he always looks like this. So if you think he looks handsome here, he looks handsome in other places. Like,
right.
He's not the Two-Face.
As a young man, there was a Six Flags in my area, and some friends of mine, we would get season tickets.
Wow, brag.
We had that Six Flags money. But there was this phenomenon that my friend Noreen pointed out about there were people who you would see at Six Flags and think they're attractive, but know in the back of your mind, if I saw this person anywhere else, I would not think that they're attractive.
They're a Six Flags 8 and a real life 6.
No, come on. I was going to say the scale can only go to 6 for fuck's sake. Come on, you know that.
Oh, they're a Six Flags 6.
Yeah.
Trader Joe's 4.
Yeah, exactly. The Trader Joe's scale goes to 10.
Yeah. Goes to 12 if you've ever been to the Trader Joe's in Silver Lake.
Six Flags 6 would be like an Army 90.
Sawyer's like, where the fuck are we going? He's like, Locke's like, the cabin. Hugo's like, the cabin's that way. And Locke's like, what do you know about the cabin?
What do you fucking know about my cabin?
It's like, I don't know anything about the cabin. Why are you so mad, bro?
Why are you being so fucking weird, bud?
Relax.
The poll to like cover with, I thought you were talking about the airplane cabin. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, smooth.
Execution,
Yeah.
5.5.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of like cabin, can you?
Cabin D's nuts.
Nice. There it is.
It doesn't.
That's what it sounded like you were about to say.
Yeah, it was what I was trying to do. It just didn't flow naturally, but Hurley pulled it out, man. It was perfect.
We love second half loss on loss, Hugo. And I mean, we love first half loss on loss.
Oh,
Hugo.
yeah.
We just love we love him. He's the best. Cut to the beach. Saeed's just like scanning the horizon.
I was like, have him and Juliet ever had a scene together?
Yeah, a couple times. When they first met, they didn't necessarily get along because he had
Less cordial.
Yeah, he had a bunch of questions, and Jack was like, she's under my protection, and now everything's fine. Because, yeah, Juliet comes up and she's just like, you see it? And he's like, nah, but it could be anywhere. And she's like, that's the spirit.
Yep.
He's like, why didn't you go with Ben? And she's like, because Ben doesn't want to get off the island. He thinks these people are here to harm us.
Are they?
But what if they are here to harm us? How many guns do you have?
Yeah.
Asking the important questions.
So, like, she doesn't believe Ben's warning, but she doesn't not believe it either.
That's the problem with Ben.
And that's the problem with Ben. Exactly. Like, everything he says has got a seed of truth in it.
Yeah.
But it's coated in this big layer of lie most of the time. And half of the time, he's got a good reason to do it. And the other half of the time, it's just because it's like instinct for him.
Yeah.
Whatever. He's like manipulation and all this stuff. And it's like, and this is what happens. This is what happens when you spend a lot of time with somebody who's like that. Julia is a little paranoid. Turns out Ben is right, but like,
Yeah.
But yeah, if he just didn't lie as much, people would be like, oh yeah, shit, we'd all be in Ben's group, not we'd have Locke's group and Jack's group, and Ben's a prisoner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
One of the keys to leadership, turns out, don't lie constantly.
We cut over to Jack and Kate. They are with Daniel. They're following the phone. The phone, it turns out, has a GPS in it, and they will be able to locate the other phones that everybody, or not the phones, the GPS trackers.
Right. They'll send it back to the freighter, and the freighter will send it back to the phone.
Yep.
So they're using the phone to locate the helicopter, which will hopefully have Frank in it, also Miles, also Charlotte. They stumble across a crate of stuff from the chopper. Danny's like, oh, we were trying to, lighten the load. Like, that's where they pushed me out.
Right.
The crate has, like, chemical suits and gas masks in it.
Right.
And Jack's like, what the fuck?
What's this for? Like, what do you fucking think it's for? It's for fucking gas and stuff.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
we don't know what's up with this island. What we got here is covered in some sort of gas.
That's fair.
Like, you gotta admit, this island's a little weird.
It's a little sus. When we were talking about Juliet episodes ago, I mentioned that she would often use the truth to be dishonest.
Yeah.
Faraday has the opposite problem. He's just out here telling the truth in the least believable way possible.
Not realizing that his delivery sounds like bullshit.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Daniel does have something wrong with him, and I don't believe it's ever made super clear what it is, other than he has problems remembering things. Maybe it's just autism, yeah. And
It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a TV moment because, like, I can't really say our primary objective is saving you guys. Jack's like, what is it? And he's like, oh, my phone's beeping. And then he runs off. It's like, no, grab him by the scruff of his neck.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, nerd.
Yeah. We'll deal with the phone thing in a second, but like,
Yeah, we can walk and talk.
like,
I will give you a fucking swirly. What is the end of that sentence you were about to say, nerd?
yeah, let's revisit that primary objective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Miles does appear on the scope, and so they head that way. We come back to Locke's group. Sawyer is like, Locke, before you told me that we were going to the cabin because Walt told you that we should do that. What's up with that? Like,
Yeah, that's some crazy shit for you to say, man.
Walt's been gone a while, and you said he was tall. What, like a giant? Like, was this a dream? Were you having some sort of vision?
Were there mushrooms involved?
I don't remember that at all. Was that Wet Whispering Walt? Like, I don't remember.
That's a season that happened in season 3. When
when he's standing over him. Yeah, in the
like,
grave. Yeah.
And that's what Locke says. Locke says, I got shot by Ben. He left me for
That's
dead in
right,
the man's
yeah.
grave, and that's where I saw Walt. And it's like, well, okay, well, you were in a
Taller
hole.
ghost
Yeah,
Walt.
taller ghost Walt. But like, you were in a hole. Like, that's why he looked taller than you, because he was above you. Like, he could have just been the same size. Granted, he wasn't, because that child actor grew like a fucking weed. But yeah, he's like, yeah, Ben shot me and left me for dead. And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, that was days ago. Like, well, how are you okay? And he's like, check it out. I got a bullet hole, but I don't have a kidney. That's why I'm alive.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Like, I believe that because you didn't have a kidney, your kidney didn't get damaged. You still got shot.
No, when you take the kidney out, then there's just a gaping hole there.
Yeah, and it's just, it doesn't bleed, doesn't whatever. And we know the island has some sort of healing magic or whatever, but like,
But like, he lifts up his shirt and shows everybody, and everyone's like, whoa, hey, oh, that's fucking gross, man. Put that shit away.
Also, I don't know a ton about guns.
Mm-hmm.
Are exit wounds historically that clean?
No.
No?
No.
No?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
Why doesn't his shirt have a hole in it?
Ooh, asking the real questions.
He unless they showed him change him, but like, I don't think that they've had an opportunity.
He does rock cargo pants though, so he probably has
a t-shirt.
No fewer than 7 spare dingy t-shirts at any given time.
Just in the pockets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Goddard and Vaughn, we're out here bailing you fuckers out.
If I was doing the show, like all that shoe leather shit that professional writers ignore, I would be doing all the time. I would be like, okay, in the background of the shot, we have to show Locke pulling a dirty shirt out of his cargo pants and changing out of the holy gun shot shirt.
Yeah.
Put in the background behind this part where Jack's tossing another beating onto Ben. Just like, the director's like, you need to leave.
I'm
the
not
set.
doing any of that.
So it's like, why don't you just go get a LaCroix and calm down? Let the professionals work here. And I was like, I will get a LaCroix.
Thank you very much. I was going to do it anyway, now because you told me to.
We cut to the coast of the island. There's a location we don't necessarily spend that much time on because I gotta assume it's very loud. Yeah, they see a pile of human over on the rocks over there, Miles, and they go to check him out, and it's like, is he okay? And it's like, he looks fine. He's wearing a helmet, like, so he gets over there. Jack gets over there and like pulls the helmet off, and Miles is like, ha ha! Pulls a
Surprise,
gun
cockbag!
I just have questions about like the internal consistency of that moment.
Was Miles getting up and he's like, oh, I hear somebody coming, and then like, like Herman grabbed his head into the helmet.
How long was he prepared to play possum?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I thought about that. I'm like, does he also have a tracker that shows when people are approaching?
And that's a valid question. I don't think so, because he always is snatching Danny's phone whenever he needs to use it. So I don't think that he does have a tracker. I think that it was just
Interesting.
kind of written weird.
Just had to do a gotcha.
Yeah. And so he like snaps. He's like, you killed Naomi. Kate, I know your name. Naomi said on the radio about her sister. Kate, whatever. I don't remember what he said.
Fucking code. And I remember us talking shit about that in that episode. I'm like, yeah, I'm so glad Naomi's fucking sister gets a shout out. And,
yeah, turns out it's a code.
oh.
It's like, it's code for I got a gun on me. So like, if Jack were on the phone, he'd be like, tell my sister I said hello. And then in the Lostpedia trivia, it's like, this is ironic because Naomi doesn't have a sister, but Jack does have a sister. And that is an example of irony here in the literary
Dramatic
whatever,
irony.
yeah.
No, is it dramatic? It's situational irony. Because we do know that Jack has a sister by now. So it is dramatic irony.
Yeah.
But it's just good humor, because like if I'm ever, about to be killed, I'd be like, Adam.
I mean, in this scenario, am I the one killing you?
No, you're there.
Oh,
and I'm
okay,
like,
yeah.
Adam, tell Carter's sister I love her.
Yeah. So he's like, where's Naomi? Take me to her body. They all are kind of like, all right. And the audience is like, what?
But we on Lost, like,
we on Lost already know that he can speak to dead people, but the chronological audience doesn't. And I hope they tell him soon. Cut to a flashback. So Miles is pulling up to a house in Inglewood, California. That is a town south of Los Angeles, city, whatever. It is not Los Angeles. it is its own city.
I feel like there's something about traffic or parking or
I mean, I would
zoning or
I would not want to drive down there. Like,
I have heard, though, from a reliable source that it's always up to no good.
that's kind of what I was searching for. I was searching for like something in there. I didn't pre-write an Inglewood bit, but like I was like, I know there's something. And so Mike got it. So
I was running through the lyrics to California Love in my head as you were talking.
that's what I was doing. I was stalling so you could get to the part where it's like Inglewood. That's no good.
Patty's losing it right now.
Miles pulls up to this thing and he's just like, he's got his ratty blazer on. Like, this is, again, here on the show, we know what his scoop is. He's a medium for hire. He goes into the house. He's just like, hey, we spoke on the phone. I'm here to bust some ghosts. It's $200.
Busted makes me feel good.
Exactly.
It sure do.
And the lady's like, why is it $200? And he's like, my cop buddy told me that your son was murdered. So $200. If you put yourself in the chronological mindset, like, this is like his introduction. And so he's not framed as like this awesome dude that we're familiar with on the show.
No.
Like, he's such a slimy piece of shit, actually.
Kinda, yeah.
And so, yeah, he comes in, he doubles the price of his services for this thing. He takes a vacuum upstairs.
Yeah, what the fuck?
We've all seen vacuum cleaners before.
Yeah.
That's a vacuum
Yeah,
cleaner.
that's a vacuum cleaner. Like, he took it out in front of her.
In front of her.
And she, like, I'm sure that's what she was, because he's like, whatever happens, don't come in. And he's walking away, and she's probably thinking to herself, there's a vacuum cleaner.
100%.
I was trying to rationalize it because I was like, if he needs part of the remains, would dead skin cells from the person count?
That's a thought. Do you guys remember that movie that Michael J. Fox was in where he
Back to the Future.
fucking Michael?
Doc Hollywood.
The Frighteners.
Yeah, The Frighteners.
Oh, actually?
Those are the three. Those are the only three movies he's been.
The Frighteners. Because Michael J. Fox plays like a spirit medium ghost hunter type dude.
Yeah.
And he just like Miles here, is kind of framed as like a sort of a scam. But he uses like some sort of funny bullshit device as part of the patter when he goes to talk to the squares. Because like he just sees ghosts in that movie. So like maybe that's it. Like maybe there's a thing in the scam medium community that's like ghosts don't like electronic devices. So like bring a dustbuster or something. I don't know.
One thing ghosts hate is a fucking shark and or Dyson.
He goes upstairs and he puts on the he turns on the vacuum cleaner.
Stuart Little.
Fucking turns it on, sits down on the bed, and he's like, all right, your grandma's bothered by your presence. I want to tell her that you're going to leave, but you got to tell me where it is first. And then like a thing falls off the shelf. And then he goes over there and he finds a stash of cash and drugs.
The secret of my success.
Is that a Michael J. Fox movie, or are you saying that this cash and drugs is the secret?
The secret of... It's a Michael J. Fox movie.
Oh,
He pockets the cash. I don't remember if he took the drugs or not.
No, he left the drugs.
He takes the cash.
He left this poor woman with drugs packed in an outlet.
And like, okay, and so one of the other things about Inglewood is that it historically has this gang culture, especially in LA, is centered around cities like Compton and Inglewood because these majority black communities. This is where these gangs popped up out of, you know, in the 60s, 70s, 50s, whenever they were formed. And so like Compton and Inglewood are, because of their gang presence, historically over-policed. So, Miles, do her a solid and take the heroin out of the house. So, just in case the fucking police come wandering through and decide to search her house for no good reason and discover her grandson's abandoned heroin, they don't throw grandma in the clink. Come on, bro. Be a comrade.
right? Throw it in the fucking toilet.
Yeah, flush it before you bail, if nothing else.
I don't know. That's supposed to be bad for the environment.
Putting heroin in the toilet?
Just drugs in general.
Oh, then do them. Do the heroin.
Because those are the only two options.
Right.
But take the heroin and walk it over to the nearest police officer and be like, hey, I found this. Can you get rid of it for me? Oh, I'm going to jail? Cool.
If you think heroin's bad for the sewers, you should see what my diet is. I'm dropping some mad turds into the sewer system. Anyways, what were we talking about?
So Miles made a huge score, and so he's like, "Here, I'll give you half of it. I'll do the job for the quoted price of $100. Here's $100 back. I'm going to take the thousands of dollars that I just took, and good day to you, man."
Life with Mikey.
I honestly, like, I don't know. I love Miles so much. I wonder if I would feel differently about him if this was our first introduction to him versus all of the other scenes we've seen of him.
I think it ends up being one of those things where he grows on you.
Yeah.
Because like later shit that he does is pretty dope. He actually is a pretty solid friend to like James and Jin, like kind of an all around good dude. He just has this sort of like rough exterior, and
he's an acquired taste.
And the thing about Miles is like his life's probably weird. Like we know from a different episode, he's been able to hear the dead since childhood.
Yeah.
So like he might be like just on the ragged edge out here as far as his social skills are concerned.
Yeah, that's fair.
I wrote down here in huge letters. So how does it work, Miles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
What are the rules?
Because there are later episodes in which people are like, "Hey man, talk to this dead guy," and he's like, "It doesn't work like that. It sort of seems like that's how it works."
I don't have my vacuum.
Yeah, man, that would be some shit if that was his answer. It doesn't work like that. Why not? I don't have my shark with me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that we crashed here in 1977 and none of the vacuums are portable.
What other appliances do you have? I have a Cuisinart, and I've done more with less.
But yeah, like they establish here sort of how it does work, and then later they go against what they've established, and so it does seem like the rules are flexible for whatever the story may need.
Cut back to the island.
Yeah, this is the part where Miles has to see Naomi's body.
Yeah.
And now we know why he wants to do that. And so
Right.
That's cool. We cut to Locke's group. Ben is tied up, and he tries to have a heart-to-heart with his daughter, Alex. And she's like, "Don't talk to me."
Don't.
And Carl's like, "Don't you fucking dare talk to her. I'll shoot your face."
Mr. Linus.
Yeah. Ben, what does he say? "If you're going to sleep with my daughter, please call me Ben."
Yeah, but he does it in such a condescending tone.
Carl.
It caught me so off guard. I rewound it like 3 times and laughed at it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, Carl, and he like pulls a gun on him, and he's just like, I just wrote he flexes here. And Sawyer comes up and just like, "Hey, relax. Let the adults point the guns at me."
Yeah.
He's just trying to get into your head
Right.
moments before letting Ben into his head.
Before I'm gonna open the door wide open
Yeah.
and let him walk right into my head. Because he sends Carl away, and then he says some shitty shit to Ben, and Ben totally winds him up, and it's so easy. And this is the part where he's like, "Oh, here on the island, you're the handsome whatever," and that was where I was like, "What? That's weird." It's such a strange thing, but it's the thing that pushes his buttons.
Right.
It's like,
Are we about to kiss right now?
you can't compete with a doctor. Well, I've seen the two of them compete. I mean, he kind of can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but that's on the island.
That's true. That's true. Only one person has banged Kate out of the two of them on the island, and it's Sawyer. And then off the island, she doesn't sleep with Sawyer. She sleeps with Jack. But Sawyer didn't get off the island either.
Yeah, there's no control in this experiment.
Exactly. There's no baseline to jump off of here.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what pisses him off.
We're not being true to the scientific method.
There's only one way to find out if either one. We have to be in the same place with Kate and see which one of us she would bang. We know what happens on the island. We know what happens in L.A. Let's try a TCBY.
I was going to say Oklahoma.
There we go. Yeah, and so like Ben pisses him off, and so Sawyer starts beating the fuck out of him.
Really just giving it to him.
Yeah.
We're like head kicks, like body kicks, like all kinds of stuff. Like, that's some bad shit. Like,
Yeah.
And Locke's like, hey,
What's going on here?
Hey,
you two,
now.
stop playing so rough.
Ben knows he's going to get punched for some of this stuff. Like, what if Ben's just a sadist and he's just like, yes.
I don't think it's so much that he is into it. I think he knows he can eat a punch because he just gets worked constantly.
Yeah.
And like, he almost never gets knocked out. He just kind of turns purpley and bleeds.
That's what we missed in the Flash Sideways was Ben being a bare knuckle boxing
He's
fucking
like gold gloves, and he just and they call him the Chin because like
yeah.
And now coming to the from this corner, weighing in at 104 pounds, Ben the Chin Linus.
It's the scene from Snatch, the first
Yeah.
fight.
Oh, yeah.
He's in. He's just getting thrown around, but he's just stretching the whole time. Then one punch, and the guy's down. Dude, hold on. Do you guys want to rewrite some Lost?
Cut to the jungle. They've arrived at Naomi's body. Miles communes with Naomi's body. Kate asks Dan to put the gun away, and this is the scene where Dan's just kind of like holding the gun. He's not holding it by the handle. He's holding it, just like holding it, like
Yeah.
And this is where I was like, oh, you don't. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah.
but if you hold it the wrong way, part of it does kind of look like a handle that's not supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I can see his confusion.
Yeah, it really needs a redesign to be more ergonomic.
Gun 2.0.
This is how we get rich, you guys.
Yeah.
I've been trying for years.
Miles confirms the story of what Kate and Jack said about Locke killing Naomi. They didn't do it. It was Locke. Locke's not with us. Miles was like, yeah. It turns out that is what happened. Naomi told me that is what happened because my powers are I can talk to dead people, and that's how it works. Miles is like, okay, now we can go after Charlotte. Jack's like, we're not going anywhere until you put the guns away. And he's like, I'm not putting my gun away. And he's like, I got people in the tree line, and they got their guns trained on you. And he's like, how stupid do you think I am? And then they get shot at, and Juliet and Saeed pop in, and Jack's like, I don't know, Miles, how stupid are you?
Listen, when I saw Saeed and Juliet pointing guns, just like trained out, I felt that, man. That was
Titan AE.
Yeah. Did you just say Titan AE to me? Mike's not even looking at his phone or his computer or anything. Wasn't that Matt Damon?
No.
I thought Michael J. Fox was in Treasure Planet.
No, you're right. It was Matt Damon. I'm undone. Hoisted on my own petard.
Good effort, though. Fucking love a Titan AE reference. We got to stay on track here.
It is a SIG P226. Look at that. Anyways.
Cut to Tunisia.
It's an old Dane Cook bit, I think, or something like that. But as soon as it was the desert, before the lower third came up, I just went Tunisia. And then it came up, and I lost my mind. I was like, of course it's Tunisia.
Tunisia. We've seen Danny's flashback. We saw Miles' flashback. It's time for Charlotte's flashback. Charlotte arrives at a dig site. She bribes her way in with a big stack of cash.
Yeah, and white privilege.
She conveniently sees a newspaper blown up against a crate and looks at it, and it's the 8:15 thing. And her friend is like, how many times do you have to read it before you believe it? It was such a weird moment. I was like, even if she didn't grab the newspaper, I know what time it is.
Right.
It's before the expedition.
Yeah,
and that's fine. Like, I don't need this newspaper thing. Move past it.
That was one of those shots that the writer twisted their arm into shooting before.
Yeah.
The audience isn't going to know.
Crafty.
Yeah. The audience isn't going to know. So put in a blown newspaper. And they're like, did you finish your LaCroix? It's like, I'm drinking it now. I brought you one. Thank you.
She goes to a skeleton that's being
exhumed
and
excavated.
Yeah, whatever.
What are you doing? I'm excavating. What does it look like I'm doing?
Idiot.
I was losing my mind because the first thing she does is just like grabs the skull with her hand, is like putting her weight on it. And then she just starts digging like real sloppily. It's like, what the fuck is this idiot doing? But it's like she knows. She's like, this isn't old. This is just your run of the mill skeleton. It's interesting that it's here. What's more interesting is what's underneath.
Yeah, there's a leather collar with the Dharma Hydra logo on it, or a collar harness, whatever, some sort of thing. And her friend's like, well, what is it? And she's like, oh, Ursus maritimus or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah, and she's like, Ursus, you mean bear? And she's like, you mean polar bear? It's a Dharma polar bear.
Cool.
Why is it here in Tunisia? I really hope that they explain it in the last episode of this season. Go back to the island. Charlotte is clearly not upside down in a branch, except for in the wide shot. A stunt person is in a branch in the wide shot. In the close-up, she's on a green screen.
Yeah. And I love the tension in this where it's like, oh, like the music is all over the place. It's like, oh, it's like, you're over water. And when you're wearing a fucking helmet, you are fine.
Right.
You can pull the thing and say, wee.
We established earlier that no one can die when wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
When we met Miles.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. She cuts the safety thing and falls into the water, and she's like, oh my God. She's like excited to be there. She takes her hat off and she's like splashing. It's like, oh,
it's like an Herbal Essences commercial.
Yeah.
Feel the rain on your skin. And then she looks up over to the ridgeline, and I think we all expected to see Jack and Daniel and whatever, but it's Locke and Hugo and Sawyer and
Twist.
oh shit. Locke's group got here first. Cut over to Jack's group. Kate has this shitty little line, I wish I knew the cavalry was coming. And then Jack's like, I gave you that little wink. And like Julia is like just in front of them, like, oh, man, Kate is such a child. A few feet ahead of them, Saeed is grilling Daniel and Miles, and Daniel's being helpful, trying. He's telling the truth and sounding
God
like
bless him.
bullshit. And Miles
like, hey,
is being
shut
like,
up.
Miles is like just like being brutally sarcastic and telling, like, what do you do? I collect soil samples.
Don't tell him my last name. And this is
I guess, just Miles.
I guess just Miles.
Yeah. But Saeed's doing exactly what he always does whenever he meets somebody. He sort of like gently interrogates him, trying to feel him out. Like he's not being menacing, but he is like holding them at gunpoint. He's just like, let's talk.
Yeah.
And the gun is so that you do talk.
It's almost as if he's done this before.
Yeah, once or twice. His name is just Miles. He doesn't have a last name. He has no family ties. Is that anything?
Thank you for that.
There it is.
I'm trying.
We're back on track. We got a little sidetracked with Titan AE, but we're sliding back in with family ties. We're feeling it. We cut over to Locke's group. Hugo answers some questions that Charlotte has. Locke says to rein it in, but then Claire just starts answering Charlotte's questions, and Locke doesn't tell her to shut up. And then Locke's like, I've had enough of this. You're my hostage now. And she's like, what the fuck? Come back over to Jack's group. They're looking at the thing, and they're like, oh, hey, Charlotte's little Pip is moving really fast. She's running from something.
200 feet that way.
Yeah, so they head in the direction of
3 kilometers that way.
What the fuck is a kilometer?
I learned from a previous appearance on Lost is 1.8 miles.
Yeah.
Nice. It's the dog. They pulled a switcheroo. They put Charlotte's GPS tracker on Vincent and said, hey, Vincent, go find Jack and Kate and them, and then don't come back because then they'll just follow you to us.
Yeah.
And Vincent's like, I don't like being a pawn in your little power play here.
It's childish, but fine.
Even though you know it's coming, it's kind of adorable. Because you're like, fuck, man, Vincent's awesome.
Vincent is awesome, yeah. Come back to the flashback. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Frank's in the Bahamas. Where else would he be?
Over here looking like Teen Wolf.
Fucking the card at the bottom should have just said Margaritaville.
Like, it really, dude. When I was in the Middle East, we went to a dive shop that was just like on the Red Sea that looked identical to this place. Like,
Frank's watching the news. There's a story about like, oh, here's all the bodies. There's probably no survivors, but maybe this will provide closure to the families. Here's one of the bodies. It's Seth Norris, the pilot. We're blaming him because he's the pilot. Here's a picture of his face. He's in afterlife jail.
The bad place.
Yeah. It's a picture of Greg Grunberg with a mustache.
which, did they have that already? Or did he have to come back in for a day?
That's what I was wondering. I was like, did they have to be like, call in and be like, hey, we need you to come in for a day, right? So we can do a still of you. Or did they just pull it from something else?
If there's ever a time for you to call in a favor in like the world of payroll accountants, you have to be able to pull this information. There's a W-2 somewhere. Like,
the mustache is hilarious.
it's very good.
But yeah, there's a number on the screen. It's like, hey, if you have any information about this plane crash, call us up over at the NTSB.
Frank calls it up and is like, it turned into water.
I seen the plane. I think it hit the ocean. He gets a hold of a supervisor and he's like, that's not Seth Norris. I've known Seth Norris for 19 years, something like that.
The 19 comes from he married his high school sweetheart at 19.
At 19, that's right. So so he's like, Seth Norris married that his sweetie at 19. He never takes his wedding ring off. And that body didn't have a wedding ring on it. That's not Seth Norris. And then the other guy is like, maybe it fell off in the crash. And Frank's like, oh, dang.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
Sorry. No, he's not having that. The guy's like, how do you know so much about this? And he's like, I'm his
official biographer.
I wrote the Seth Norris the Seth Norris tell-all.
That actually makes way more sense now why he's flying a commercial flight at the beginning of, what is it, season whatever.
In 6 or 5 when he's flying a Jira. Yeah, because he is a commercial airliner pilot. He has those qualifications. So Frank was supposed to be the pilot. good for him that he wasn't, because he would have been dead. Seth Norris did die in the pilot.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Cut to Frank. Frank on the island. He take a little bump to the dome. He's got a big cut on his forehead. He's climbing up a ridge. He's like trying to get his bearings, whatever. He gets up to the top and he sees a cow.
One of Mikhail's cows?
Mikhail's cows. Yeah. Has escaped and is now feral.
It only takes 6 hours for a cow to go feral.
Stay away. It's got a taste for human blood.
Is that why its balls were so big? Is that why my balls are so big?
Oh, he scares the cow away. He gets up there. He goes to pull his phone. His phone is smashed. I don't know how.
He's got to find one of those you break, I fix places.
I thought he just because he just kind of falls over.
Yeah.
And I thought, because he doesn't appear to be injured, he's just tired and probably hungover. So he falls over. I assume he lands on the phone and then he's just like, fuck it, and then just shoots a flare.
That's got to be what happened to the phone, because as we find out a little bit later, he lands the helicopter just fine. It doesn't crash.
There is 100% chance that on the dub stage when they were mixing that episode, the mixers put in a giant crash sound as he fell over, just for the lulls, just to have fun with it. That's what we do on dub stages.
Nice.
Love it.
But yeah, he's like, phone's busted. All right, flare gun. Poof. Locke's group sees the flare. Charlotte's like, oh, that's probably my buddy Frank. Let's go over there. And Locke's like, I told you in the earlier scene you're my hostage. We're not going.
She knew the rules.
Yeah. Hostage. No. And Ben's like, why don't we just clip her? Pow, pow, pow.
Skibbity pap, pap, pap. Yeah, actually the squib on Charlotte was pretty good.
I thought that too. I was like, this is actually some decent gunfire work.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ben shoots her. They stop Ben. They take his gun away. They punch him probably 100 more times.
Yep. At least 100.
He comes a little bit.
She's wearing Kevlar, which is
expensive.
Yeah. And gives credence to Locke's thing that their intentions are nefarious, because if they were just rescuers, why would they be wearing Kevlar?
Yeah, if they were just dudes.
Yeah, if they were just like here to chill. Like,
I don't wear Kevlar to the Trader Joe's.
No. We cut over to Jack's group. They're like, where's the helicopter wreckage? And he's like, how fucking dare you?
Well, Frank's just lying down on the ground. He's like, brr. Like, I thought he was gonna do the same thing Miles did, was like, get away from me, I have a flare gun. But no, he's just hung over and lying down.
Yeah, he's pretty severely concussed, but apparently he landed the helicopter just fine. It's sitting over in a clearing. I just wrote, fuck yeah.
Guys will see this and think, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Cut to a flashback. We got one more to cover. Lindelof and Hughes had famously said that they were never going to do flashbacks for dead characters. It happened like 3 times. This is one of them. We have a flashback for Naomi. Naomi, dead as hell. She's talking to Matthew Abaddon.
Pour one out for Lance Reddick.
That's right. Austin Power King. He's like, we got the team. Daniel Faraday, Franklin J. Lapidus, Charlotte Staples Lewis. Oh, no, that's later. Charlotte Staples Lewis, Miles Strom. And she's like, this is the worst team. Why these 4 people? And he's like, they've got special skills. And she's like, name one of their special skills. Any one of them. In fact, if you can name a special skill that the 4 of them have, that would be fine.
A jock, a nerd, a princess, a basket case.
Oh, there it is.
And a pilot.
Yeah. Frank is so drunk, he can't fly under normal conditions, but you put him in a geomagnetic storm, flies straight as an arrow.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know. I wonder what is the Venn diagram on people who are licensed like commercial pilots who can also fly helicopters. I don't know.
2 totally different skill sets as far as I'm concerned.
Right?
You don't know fucking guns. I don't know helicopters.
Yeah. None of us are experts here.
Yeah. Except on Michael J. Fox's filmography, baby. He did several episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah. They get in a helicopter and they're homeward bound.
Damn. Matthew Abaddon's like, take these 4 clowns on the freighter and you've got the most important job. Don't get anybody killed.
Whoops.
In her defense, she didn't get anyone else killed.
Yet.
Yeah, she's so far the only one of those 5 to be dead.
Yeah.
Cut back to the helicopter. Juliet tends to Frank's wound. Saeed inspects the helicopter. Jack and Miles have a little like, give me the phone. Tell me the thing first. I'll tell you the thing if you give me the phone. Yeah. The helicopter's fine. Jack gives Miles the phone. He calls in. He's like, hey, what's up with Minkowski? Let me talk to him. And she's like, he can't go on the phone. His brain's leaking out of his ears.
Yeah, he had a little booze cruise last night. Did not go well.
Was a bad idea. And he's like, all right, well, when he's fine, call me.
Tell him I love him.
She's like, I will do that. He hangs up. And then we cut over to Frank. Frank's like, so what's your name, pretty lady? And she's like, my name's Julia. What's your name? And he's like, my name's Frank. What's up? And then he's like, wait a minute, what? You say Juliet? Julia what? Like there was a different Juliet on the plane?
There only had to be one.
No, that's what I mean. He's like, there is no Juliet on the plane. Like,
Well, no, because he asked her last name. Julia what? Juliet Burke. And he's like, wait a minute.
Wrong answer.
there's also a world where I see Juliet and Frank working out.
There's an undeniable charisma that Frank has.
Yeah.
And there's an undeniable hotness that Juliet has.
I did have in my notes that Elizabeth Mitchell is still fine.
Oh.
Fine.
Yeah, because when he goes, Juliet, what? I instinctively said, Russell.
Yeah. Frank has memorized 815's manifest. He realizes that she is not a 815 survivor. She lives here on the island.
There is a non-zero probability that if you're meeting some stranger who just crash landed on the island where you've been living for the last however many months, and they ask you your name, that you might just lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your name, pretty lady? Seth Norris. Wait a minute. You're lying.
Let me see your left hand.
She's wearing a wedding ring. Well, it checks out.
Wow.
Who's your high school sweetheart? It's Adam Busher. Miles comes over and he's like, tell us where Ben Linus is, and shows everybody a picture of a nerd Ben Linus. And
Like early, like ground floor of Microsoft photo of like
Tech bubble Ben Linus.
Right.
Developers.
Yeah, it's him and Wozniak. Like,
So there's the primary objective. They're here for Ben Linus. Rescuing the survivors is secondary. Got over to Locke's group. Sawyer is holding Ben at gunpoint, and he's like, say the word, Locke. And Locke's like, I think I actually will let you kill him this time.
yeah.
I've been like saying no, but like that was fucked up.
You wore me down.
And Claire's like, he shot an innocent lady. And Locke's like, yeah, he shot my hostage.
Yeah.
I mean, an innocent lady.
Remember when I fucking buried fucking Dorothy and Naomi's back earlier? No? Good. That was real fucked up that you tried to kill this lady.
Locke is like, yeah, anybody who doesn't want to see this, bail.
Look away.
Just Sawyer and I are going to murk this dude.
The Rousseau's like locked in. She's like, yeah.
If there are any children here, please avert your eyes.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, well, there's just the baby.
It's
So, like,
irrelevant that you'll hear it and know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And your imagination will probably be worse than the real thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Ben's like, wait a minute, I have to tell you something. No, let me tell you something. Her name is Charlotte Staples Lewis.
It has to give the whole dossier on her.
The whole back of the baseball card.
She was born in Essex.
Her batting average is 215.
She was born in she was brought up in whatever.
Graduated from Kent. Got her PhD from Oxford.
Yeah.
Currently ovulating.
Sawyer's like, I just wrote down Charlotte's middle name is Staples, but then it turns out like C.S. Lewis's middle name is Staples.
Yeah.
And so now I know two people. Now, granted, one of them's fake, but like two people with the middle name Staples.
Is that what the Staples Center is named after?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's named after C.S. Lewis.
That was easy.
And then the rights, his estate, the rights expired, and the estate didn't renew them, and so that's why. And now it's named after named after W.C. Fields. Now the estate of W.C. Fields has rights to what used to be the Staples Center because his middle name was the crypto. It was crypto.com arena.
Anyways, an actor has to memorize facts about a non-real person and then just rattle them off, which to me, in my limited acting experience, sounds exhausting.
Yeah.
And they're like, how'd you know that? And he's like,
I got a rookie card.
I've got a man on the ship. I've got a man in the boat. And Sawyer's like,
She was drafted in the 3rd round.
But yeah, it's like, listen, because I got a spy and all these folks are here for me and I'm still relevant, so you can't kill me. I know what's going on here, and if you kill me, you're never going to get answers.
Cool.
Lost.
Did we like it? Was it good? That is the first question we got to answer here about Confirmed Dead. You can like something that sucks. You can hate something that rules. Mike, kick it off.
This episode, you guys kind of mentioned that it felt like this could have been the premiere of season 4.
Mm-hmm.
It had a lot of heavy lifting to do as far as just like setting up where the show is going after the turn.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think that it did a pretty good job of just like establishing who these new people are via their flashbacks and presence on the island. But I don't think makes for great television.
Yeah.
Just like the amount of exposition that it had to give, some of which just spelled out by Miles in a long diatribe about sisters.
Yeah.
So, it's not my favorite episode, but it's fine.
Okay, that's fine. JP.
Along those similar lines, I think this is probably a good episode that I did not enjoy.
Okay.
Had we watched this chronologically, I really would have liked this because, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think I was crazy about the season 4 premiere. If I had waited a year, for a new episode of Lost after like a season 3 cliffhanger, this would have been great. But we already know a lot of the stuff that's needed. So, like, yeah, it's context related, but I was just kind of like, eh.
You did, in fact, say the same thing about the pilot. You didn't like it, but you do think it was good.
Yeah.
Fair.
Adam.
I think I'll probably just echo what Mike said. A little too expository to be really entertaining, but fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you watch 1 and 2 together on the same night as a chronological viewer, the beginning of the end and then Confirmed Dead back to back in the same night, I think that the first episode of the season would pull this one up just by its proximity. That's what I think.
Makes sense.
So
Sure.
yeah, I'll give it a fine. Yeah, a little bit. There was some cool stuff in it. Like,
Yeah.
I like Frank's flashback is about a minute long, and I love it.
It's very good, yeah.
Miles's flashback is I really liked Miles's flashback. But yeah, other stuff around it was just like, they might as well have been holding script pages.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's all right. It's fine. It's just fine. But let's find out who is succeeding here in Confirmed Dead. Who is our Lost MVP? Gold star, number 1. Just ruling the roost.
I'm gonna give it to Saeed.
Ooh.
Yeah. I guess like function wise, he's very pivotal.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I like him swooping in to save the day.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
The baller.
The moment when him and Juliet pop up. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's super good.
Super hot. I mean, it was cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Saeed. All right, JP.
Miles. I love Miles. Everything about Miles I like. I like him as a character. I like his on-island stuff. I like his off-island stuff. I like him as an actor. I just love Miles.
I think you said it in probably our most recent episode. He continues to be one of the most interestingly written characters on the show.
The whole thing about like I found the money, but I only gave the upcharge money back. Like that's such
Still
an
kept
interesting...
100. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
It's an interesting character thing. And I'm like, man, I could watch Miles do stuff. So. Adam.
Frank.
Oh, hell yeah, baby.
We're at the point where it kind of feels like choosing Frank as your MVP feels as easy as choosing Jack as your Lost Forever in the first half of the series.
Okay.
Yeah, I will admit that Frank generally is a pretty safe pick.
It doesn't take a lot of Frank for you to for delight to happen.
Operator. That's another one where you just like guys will see this and think, hell yeah, just a picture of Frank. But genuinely, I like the fact that he, in his flashback, he has firsthand knowledge, and so like
for sure,
out of the team, he actually does. He's got 2 useful skills, which Abaddon does not tell Naomi. He has firsthand experience with 815. He's a pilot and an accomplished pilot, a good pilot apparently. So
Totally.
like he's got some good skills, and like his unhinged scene in the Bahamas, calling the NTSB and be like, I know the truth. It's just awesome. So yeah, Frank.
But
the other half of this bit, King Suck of Shit Mountain. Who's out here fucking up, just hacking their way through the episode? The Lost Forever. Mike.
Carl. You had one job.
Carl. Yeah.
Carl.
What a pervert. Like, I know he's a teenager, but she's a teenager, man.
Yeah.
Just stick to the hand holding and the
some upstairs stuff.
Yeah. Let's keep it PG out here.
Right?
This is a Disney owned network.
I'm saying.
JP.
Charlotte, I don't like her. I just don't. I was trying to make a joke. I just don't like her.
Do you not like her because you know that she is the Wicked Witch?
No, that might give her some points back.
It's like her Instagram definitely has some points in the pro column. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, that's all fine. I just I don't know. I just don't know what to do with her character. I still don't really know what her specialty is.
That's the thing, is that here in this episode we find out that she's an anthropologist.
Right.
How does that help?
Right.
Miles can talk to dead people. Frank flies a helicopter. The island is really hard to locate, and having a physicist would probably be a helpful thing. Like
Naomi can take a knife in the back.
But again, why are we sending all these ding-dongs in instead of the mercenaries?
right. If primary objective is to apprehend Ben, why didn't Kimi and the fucking gun squad come?
Right.
Just send wave after wave of your own men at the problem.
Right.
They're too busy poorly trap shooting on the deck of the Kahana.
Who are we going to use as our offensive line? We're going to use the punter, the fucking, the field goal
long
kicker,
snapper.
the backup punter,
The fucking equipment manager.
the fourth string quarterback,
The water boy.
The fucking play-by-play guy for the broadcast booth.
yeah, and Eli Manning. Jeepers. Adam, lost forever.
Locke. Fuck, he annoyed the fucking piss out of me in this episode. I like you said earlier in the episode, seems like a key factor in leadership is be like open and honest communication. You want to be in charge, man. Just what are they gonna do? Like if you say some shit they don't like, let them wander over to the jungle, man. Like you're
Right.
It's a weird island where weird stuff happens. Just take a beat and say, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Vision, I trust it because it kind of saved my life. Go with me on this.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, just lay it out.
Yeah, it's you've got a much higher chance of everybody being on board with that than you would think.
Yeah,
everybody
right,
hear that and be like, "That's whack," but like, yeah, probably.
Like it's season 4. They've all seen weirder stuff happen.
Yeah.
They are all aware of the smoke monster. They all saw Ethan Rom pick somebody up with his one hand. Like, like,
I still don't like Ethan.
well,
Yeah.
who does?
Yeah. Don't say his name a third time. Don't say it a third time.
Candyman.
I'm changing my answer, Ethan.
Kahneman Spieler?
Oh God. Okay.
Holy
Yeah.
smokes.
Carl Charlotte Locke, Lost Forevers. Good Lost Forevers. Michael Traylor.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be back.
Taking the time, stopping by, talking Confirmed Dead with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got any pluggables? You got any projects that might be hitting the airwaves or the internet waves?
Early 2025. That's the best time frame that I've got. Is a show that I worked on called No Good Deed.
Okay.
Is going to be on
Okay.
Netflix.
Netflix, got you.
Yeah.
You've been doing a lot of Netflix shows pretty steady, it seems like.
They make more shows than
Anywhere else in town right now. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Working on a lot of Netflix and doing a lot of Lost on Lost. You're just winning, baby.
I know, right?
Yep,
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
that's right.
The big
Oh, yeah.
content creators.
Shit, if you worked on a Netflix show today, you did a Lost episode. If you swing by the Silver Lake Trader Joe's, fuck, that's a LA in for the cycle, baby.
Right.
Does anybody have a Michael J. Fox movie that they want to drop real quick?
I closed the window. No.
He was in a few episodes of Rescue Me. Spin City.
Adam asked me the thing.
Oh yeah, what Michael J. Fox movie are we gonna watch next week? I mean, what episode of Lost are we watching next week?
Jesus. If you're looking to be lost with us next week, we are going to be watching season 5, episode 11, Whatever Happened, Happened. Starring Kate. But Justin Nichols is coming back.
Hey!
So that's very exciting.
That is good stuff.
So it will be a good time no matter what. Well, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, everyone out there, for tuning into another episode of Lost on Lost.
Yeah, I'm Adam.
I'm JP.
Do you have any idea what's going on this show?
No.
Back to the Future 2.
I've still never seen 2.
What?
Lost on Lost is produced and edited by me and JP.
We wish to acknowledge that we live, work, and produce our show on occupied land.
Burbank, California is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Tongva, Chumash, Kizh, and Fernandino Tataviam peoples.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Peoria, Potawatomi, Miama, and Ho-Chunk peoples.
And Lost was produced in Hawaii on the lands of the Kanaka Maoli.
Visit native-land.ca to learn more about the land you live and work on.
You can engage with us on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at Lost on Lost 1.
You can also email us at wearelostonlost@gmail.com or support us with dollar monies at coffee.com/wearelostonlost.
Thanks to Lostpedia and its community of contributors, Danny Schmitz, random.org, and as always, you the listeners for tuning in.
We're hosted at Podbean. You can hear us there or wherever you get your podcasts, except MySpace. We're not on MySpace.
Yet.